Chair, the provision of accessible healthcare is never something we should think of as a luxury. But as we have heard this morning, for too many people across the UK, they face barrier after barrier to access even the most routine care. For too long, the drive towards economies of scale in the NHS has left many small and rural communities without basic services they need. And in the last 20 years, over half of England's hospitals have been closed or merged. The victims of this move have too often been smaller hospitals, which provide to nearly half the population in areas which are frequently more remote, more deprived, with an older patient cohort than average. And whilst the NHS has processes in place to recognise those hospitals that are unavoidably small due to the remoteness of the communities they serve, these often don't go far enough. North Cumbria Trust, one of those which has received extra funding from the NHS, have had patients waiting for over 6 months to be discharged, despite being medically fit to leave. Now, those sites falling outside the top 8 sites identified by the NHS as in need of funding adjustments did not receive any additional support at all. The consequences of this are not just a poorer service for local patients, but lives are being put at risk. In Cornwall, we saw the utterly shameful scenes of 87-year-old David Wakely having to wait 15 hours for an ambulance in a makeshift shelter his family constructed after he fell in his garden. In 21st century Britain, no one should have to experience what David's, regardless of where they live.